Hello everybody, I hope you can hear me. Really sorry for the delay. So let's start today's talk about ALS and the speech and swallowing concerns that are involved in ALS. So let me introduce myself first. I am Nikia Kirane. I am a speech and swallowing therapist and I'm specialized to treat swallowing disorders across different pathologies. So we are discussing in detail about ALS today. Coming to the problems that occur in ALS related to the speech and swallowing are that when it is a bulbar onset, that is when ALS has different types of onset. When we are talking mainly about the bulbar onset, the tongue and other oral muscles are primarily affected. When these muscles are affected, we see different problems in speech as well as swallowing. The usual problems that we see in speech are slurring of speech, affected pronunciation, reduced loudness, breathing issues, breathing problems, loss of breath while talking, and other such problems which are speech related. Coming to the swallowing aspect, there are problems that are seen in the swallow as well. That is, there is cough while swallowing. There is a typical problem while having liquids. That is, a lot of patients complain of inability to have water. There are also problems with chewing sometimes. If the mastication, that is the oral muscles, are affected, then mastication and chewing becomes a big problem. And also there is problem in the actual swallow function, that is the actual taking inside of food. There is some patients say that it just does not go down, or some say that it goes down but I feel like there's something still in my throat, or there are various such complaints. So a speech and swallowing therapist is a person who can solve these issues. So if any of the patients are viewing this video, or the patient relatives are viewing this video, and if any of the patients with ALS have these problems, then you need to see a speech and swallowing therapist. So you can also see the nearest ENT that you have, because usually the speech and swallowing therapists are associated with the ENT. So they can give you a contact of the related speech and swallowing therapist if you are not calling from Mumbai itself. If you are calling from Mumbai, please do contact Neurogen or Asha Ek Hope. We would love to serve you and make the best of our expertise to solve your problems. Let's go slightly into the depth of how speech and swallowing works and why is it that both of them are affected together. So when we try to understand speech and swallowing, let's just see one video before going ahead. Okay. So this is a video of someone singing. And these are the movements of the tongue and other oral muscles that happen inside the mouth. You can see how the tongue keeps moving. Also, there are other accessory muscles that keep moving when we try and speak. So what happens is that just like these muscles, the same muscles are involved for swallowing. That is, the same tongue, the same teeth, the same lips, the same uvula, the same muscles are involved for swallowing. So let's see how the swallow works. This is a video of a normal swallow. You can see the patient has taken some food in his mouth and he has swallowed it. So you can see it's the tongue, the teeth, and other such structures which are involved into swallowing. So when we realize which structures are involved, now it is much more easier for us to understand why the speech and swallow are affected together. So let's go first into understanding how to identify a speech and swallowing problem. So if any patient is viewing or any relative of the patient is viewing this live video, the signs that you see are there is slurring of speech. If you see any slurring of speech or any coughing while the patient is having food, then those are red flags. You need to look into the swallowing. Sometimes the patients do not cough, that is, even if they are having water, and if it's not going the right way, they do not cough. We call that as silent aspiration in our medical terms. If silent aspiration is happening and the patient does not cough, then this is really dangerous, because the food or the consumable items may enter the lungs without the patient coughing. In this case, the patient will show some other signs which are easy for you to catch. So let's understand what these other signs are. The other signs are, there is eye watering while the patient is having food. There is also something like reduced cough, which you see. So there will be a cough, but there will be a very slight cough when the patient is having the food. So these are subtle symptoms when a very major cough is not present. So these are the red flags that you need to notice when a patient is suspected to have a speech or a swallowing problem. So let me explain why I'm focusing more on swallowing and a little lesser on speech. The reason being, a swallowing problem can lead into major consequences. That is because of the structures and the anatomical position of our food pipe and windpipe. To tell you in very easy language, our windpipe is just ahead. So if this is the windpipe, it is just lying ahead of the food pipe. So the food pipe is right behind the windpipe. All right. The food pipe is always closed. It's not open. It's always closed. So when we make swallowing movements of the tongue, that is, when we make these kind of movements, the food pipe will open momentarily, the food will enter, and it will automatically close again. Because these patients have poor tongue movement, the food pipe opening is also affected. If this opening is affected, the only space for the food to go is the airway, which is always open. So if the food enters the airway, it will enter into the lungs. If the food enters into the lungs, it catches infection in the lungs, which we call as pneumonia, more specifically aspiration pneumonia. If that is the case, the patient develops fever and he has to be shifted into the hospital and admitted as soon as possible, or started on very strong antibiotics so that his chest infection is reduced. So because of these complications, we stress more on swallowing. Of course, the speech too is important because communication is a major aspect in these patients. So speech too has to be rehabilitated. So let's come to the rehabilitation part of ALS. So when we talk about rehabilitation, like I said, the speech and swallowing therapist is a person who will rehabilitate the problems. So the usual exercises that we give are the tongue exercises, we give palate exercises, and we also give other laryngeal and pharyngeal exercises. Now these are really medical terms, maybe a little complicated. So let me explain in more easier languages. So tongue exercises are basically for the patients who have weakness of the tongue, who want to talk but they are unable to talk. So these tongue exercises mainly help in increasing the clarity of the speech, and they also help in the mastication, that is the chewing. If any patients have chewing problems, then they also help in those problems. So the usual tongue exercises that we tell are mobilizing the tongue. That is, The patients with ALS, they develop a heavy tongue. What I mean by a heavy tongue is a tongue which we usually experience after eating something really cold, like an ice cream. So we have a really heavy tongue. So these patients experience that kind of a tongue all the time. So because the tongue is so heavy, mobilizing, that is simply giving it some kind of movement, is beneficial. So the patients who have a really poor tongue, you can hold the tongue with a finger or a gauze piece and move it left to right. This is one option. For the patients who have a good tongue, can do movements, but it is not absolutely accurate, they should try these movements themselves. That is, moving the tongue left to right, in and out, and up and down. So these are the tongue exercises. The second thing that we do is for chewing. So for the patients who have problems to masticate their food, that is, they feel that they can't grind their food properly, for those patients there is something called as chewy tubes. These chewy tubes are available online. You can purchase them on Amazon. So these chewy tubes are basically used to strengthen the mastication muscles. So basically these muscles on the cheeks that you see, it's to strengthen these muscles. So you can use these chewy tubes multiple times in the day to increase the mastication strength. The third exercise that we do is for something called the soft palate. The soft palate is a structure that you see hanging when you open your mouth large. Right behind you see something hanging. That is the uvula or the soft palate. So it basically helps to stop the food from entering the nose, and speech wise it helps to make your voice sound less nasal. So if you have a weak soft palate, you will suddenly start sounding very, very nasal. So your voice will become something like this. If you feel that your voice, if you are a patient of ALS yourself or you are a relative, if you feel that the voice has become like this, then it is a weakness of the soft palate. Then you need to exercise the soft palate, wherein you need to do straw blowing exercises or bubble blowing exercises or candle blowing exercises. So any kind of blowing exercises will help the soft palate to strengthen. I hope I'm not going too fast. If you have any questions, you can type it in the middle because I can read them. So I can answer your questions in between if you have any. Okay, so the blowing exercises are the exercises that will help to strengthen the soft palate. Going on to further down anatomically, that is, some patients will also feel that their voice has become very weak. They feel that I can't speak loud enough, or when I'm vocalizing or when I'm talking to people, I feel like I have to repeat myself a lot of times, or some words are just inaudible and I need to keep repeating those words. If you feel these kind of problems, then there is something called as step exercises. What I mean by step exercises is that you can do any sort of counting or any sort of rote language that you have. You can practice that language starting from really soft voice going to as loud as you can. There is another exercise that you can do for loudness or for vocal folds, and that is prolonged phonation. That is, you can make long sounds. Going further down, if we talk about the main problem, that is if you have coughing while you are having food, then you need to refer to a speech swallowing pathologist, because those exercises cannot be told directly. The exercises that I've told till now also are best if you consult a speech language pathologist, because these are exercises told very generally. Depending on what problem you have, depending on which structure is affected, depending on how much the severity of the structure is affected, the speech language pathologist can tell you which exercises to do and how many times to do. Some exercises also contradict other exercises. That is, if you have some sort of weakness, then you cannot do one of the exercise which you will not be able to understand by yourself. So if you have any such problem, it is best that you consult a speech language pathologist. Mostly we do have a lot of solutions for speech as well as swallowing issues in ALS. If it is progress to a very severe stage, then we have to come to more compensatory strategies. What I mean by compensatory strategies is that there are some diet modifications or changes in the eating habits or the speaking habits or communication habits that we need to make, which will be given to you if you are in a very progressed stage of ALS. If you are not in that progress stage, then as far as possible we can help you out to regain your speech as well as swallowing. If you have any such concerns as to who to address for these problems and you are not able to understand because you are not in Mumbai or you don't know who is nearby you, please do contact Asha Ek Hope, because we will try and give you the contact of the nearest therapist or the nearest doctor who can address your issues. Thank you. So this was my talk for today. I will take questions. So the first question is cerebellar ataxia curable? So ataxia is a problem of the cerebellum. That is, it is a part of a brain which is called as small brain, or in Hindi it is called as chota mendu. So this problem is usually not curable, but I am not the best person to answer this question. You need to see a neurologist or a neurosurgeon who will give you a more precise answer depending on your symptoms and your investigation results. The neurologist or the neurosurgeon will be able to tell you better. Please explain in Hindi. Okay, so मैं बहुत माफ़ी चाहती हूँ कि मैंने इंग्लिश में बात की है. अगर आपको किसी भी स्पेसिफिक चीज़ का डिटेल चाहिए तो आप लिख सकते हो, तो मैं आपको वो दोबारा हिंदी में बता सकती हूँ. पूरा हिंदी में वापस बताना थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. सो अगर आपको कुछ स्पेसिफिकली चाहिए, आई कैन डेफिनेटली मैं आपको हिंदी में वापस बता सकती हूँ. Please give information about movement disorder called dystonia. Dystonia needs to be talked. Okay. So, of course, dystonia is a movement disorder which is seen in various pathologies. It is basically involuntary movement which is not in the control of the patient. It causes a lot of problems in everyday life. Like it can cause problem in speech, it can cause problem while eating, it can cause problem while walking, or even while sitting steady. So dystonia definitely needs to be addressed, and there are medications as well as therapy techniques that are available to address or dystonia. So it is definitely a problem that needs to be looked after. But today's talk is about ALS, so I will not go too much in detail about dystonia. Swallowing exercises. Okay, so swallowing exercises is again, there are a lot of swallowing exercises that are that are done. But again, swallowing exercises mainly depend upon which swallowing problem you have. So there are different tests that are done to find out the swallowing problem. One is a endoscopic test that's done. Another one is a radiologic test like an X-ray. So after doing this test, we can understand what exactly the problem is and which exercise can be prescribed. I will not tell you the swallowing exercises as such because they may not be the best exercises for the patients, and not all exercises can be given to all patients. So it will be best if you identify which problem you have and then do the exercises accordingly. Okay, let's take the next question. How successful is stem cell therapy in ALS? We've got a lot of papers on that have been published on the results of stem cell therapy in ALS, and these papers have shown progress in the ALS patients. So stem cells, it's usually used to delay the progression. Does not show complete improvement, but it definitely delays the further progression, or what we also say is that it stalls the progression. That is, if you are in a certain stage, then it will stall the progression of the disorder. How about neuron? I'm sorry, I did not get that question. Avinash, can you please write that question again? Swallowing exercise in Hindi. Yes, sure. So swallowing जो निगलने के जो कसरत होते हैं, वो मैंने बताया कि अलग अलग कसरत है, और सेम कसरत हम सारे पेशेंट्स को नहीं दे सकते हैं, क्योंकि मदद से ज़्यादा उनको तकलीफ हो सकती है. इसके लिए अगर आपको लगता है कि आपके रिलेटिव को या किसी को स्वॉलोइंग में इशू हो रहा है, यानी खाने के टाइम उनको खांसी लग रही है, या खाना ठीक से नहीं जा रहा है, या फिर उनका सडनली खाने का आहार छोटा कम हो गया है, या आपको वज़न में बहुत कम लग रहा है वज़न सडनली, तो आप स्वॉलोइंग के लिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन यानी टेस्टिंग कर सकते हैं. सो टेस्टिंग दो तरीके का होता है. एक नाक से कैमरा डालते हैं और टेस्ट करते हैं. दूसरा एक्सरे जैसा होता है, रेडियोलॉजिक टेस्ट जिसको हम बोलते हैं, वो कर सकते हैं. ये करने के बाद में पता चलता है कि एग्जैक्टली कौन से भाग को तकलीफ है. जब ये पता चलता है, उसके बाद में हम निगलने की कसरत आपको बता सकते हैं जो ए पेशेंट को काम में आएंगे. जनरली जो निगलने की कसरत होते हैं वो सबके लिए सेम नहीं होते, क्योंकि सबका तकलीफ सेम नहीं होता है. सो एक बार एंडोस्कोपिक या रेडियोलॉजिक टेस्ट करने के बाद में आपको स्पेसिफिक निगलने की कसरत क्या है वो हम बता सकते हैं. What is the test for borderline autism or developmental delay? Okay, so you need to Mr. Sudhir Purohit, you need to see a pediatrician for this. Again, today's talk is not about autism, so I would really like to restrict it to ALS. But which test? So which test? The answer, again, I'm not the best person to give you the answer. You need to see a pediatrician who can tell you which test is the best for developmental delay or autism. Can you suggest any solution for salivation problem? Patient is unable to swallow saliva easily. Okay, this is Mrs. Bhageshri Bhagat. So Mrs. Bhageshri, if you are nearby any, if you are in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai, please contact Asha Ek Hope, because if the patient is not able to swallow his own saliva, then it is a really big red flag. That means that you need to get into the investigation as soon as possible, because if the saliva is also an issue, that is the body's own secretion is also an issue for the patient to swallow, then of course external feeding that the patient may be having may also not be going the right way. So coming to the solution, there isn't any quick fix as such for saliva swallowing problem. So please do and come and do an evaluation as soon as possible. If you are not in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai area, please do see the nearest ENT and do the the endoscopic or the radiologic investigations that are required, because this is a problem that suggests immediate investigations. Tongue movements totally. So this is Mrs. Minnie Menon. I hope all of you are Mrs. because I'm calling you Mrs. If someone is Miss, I'm really sorry. So tongue movements totally stop swallowing, possible with difficulty. What next? Alright. So again, Mrs. Minnie, if you are in and around Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, please see us. If not, if the tongue movements have completely stopped, usually if it is that bad, then we have to turn to non-oral feeds. What I mean by non-oral feeds is that you need to either put the patient on an RT tube, that is a tube that goes from the nose or on a PEG tube that is put externally from the stomach, and the food has to be given from there. But before putting the patient on such a stringent or a harsh option, I would say please get evaluated, because again, we are doing this talk today for that reason, because we want these patients to eat. We do not want to take that pleasure away from them, and so we are trying and doing our best to make the patients eat. So please do get an evaluation or a consult first before just turning to a non-oral or a RT or a PEG feed. If any kind of oral feed or any possibility is, or if there is any possibility, then it would be best for the patient, and the patient will not have to go directly on an RT or a PEG feed. Coming to your question, if I had to give you a small quick fix, I would say if the tongue movements have completely stopped, then please do hold the tongue with a gauze. That is, you have to hold the tongue out and move it side to side, giving it some kind of stability, which is exactly what I was referring to when I said that the patient's tongue gets really heavy. So the patient is unable to move the tongue by themselves. So if that is the issue, you have to assist it passively from outside. If possible, you can do it. If you are not that confident, please meet a doctor and then do it. So this is Mr. Avinash again. Okay, thanks, but they eat very less, having swallow problem. See again. So when you say this, that's what I'm saying. You need to get an investigation done, or if you can tell me what the symptoms are, maybe I can help you a little further through this live video. Again, if you get the actual investigation, we can pinpoint and give you the exact treatment which will help the patient start eating. Swallowing exercises in Hindi for salad chewing and then swallowing, and for tablet swallowing. Okay, so Mrs. Kapoor, you have two questions. I'll answer the first one. तो सैलड चूइंग के लिए, सैलड चूइंग बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है इन पेशेंट्स में, क्योंकि इट्स कच्चा होता है, तो इसकी वजह से ज़्यादा चबाना पड़ता है. तो जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि एक चूई ट्यूब आता है, चूई ट्यूब, यू कैन गूगल इट अप. सो व्हेन यू गेट दिस चूई ट्यूब, वो आपको दोनों साइड पे, दांत के दोनों साइड पे आपको देना है पेशेंट को, और पेशेंट को प्रैक्टिस कराना है चूइंग का उसके ऊपर. ये आपको प्रैक्टिस कराने के बाद में धीरे धीरे चूइंग बेटर होता है. लेकिन ये प्रैक्टिस कराने के पहले दांत का कंडीशन क्या है और चूइंग का मसल्स का कंडीशन क्या है, ये डॉक्टर आपको बताएंगे. तो जब भी आप कंसल्ट के लिए जाओगे, तो ये पता करने के बाद में आप वो चूइंग एक्सरसाइजेस चालू कर सकते हैं. कमिंग टू, तो वो आपको सैलेड चूइंग में हेल्प करेगा. कमिंग टू टैबलेट चूइंग एक्सट्रीमली रिस्की होता है ये पेशेंट्स में. यूजुअली हम क्रश करके टैबलेट्स उनको देते हैं, हनी में मिक्स करके, बट अगेन सारे पेशेंट्स ये टॉलरेट नहीं कर पाते हैं. सो एग्जैक्टली स्वॉलो कंडीशन क्या है वो देखने के बाद में हम आपको टैबलेट के लिए सोल्यूशन दे सकते हैं. टैबलेट चूइंग के स्वॉलोइंग के लिए काफ़ी सारे सोल्यूशंस हैं, लेकिन करंट उनका स्वॉलोइंग स्टेटस क्या है वो पता करने के बाद में हम आपको सोल्यूशन दे सकते हैं. ओके, कमिंग टू योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन, रेडियोलॉजी टेस्ट में नॉर्मल आया था. ओके, सो अगर रेडियोलॉजिकल टेस्ट में नॉर्मल आया था तो आपको वो रिपोर्ट्स लेके आप अगर हमको दिखा सकते हो तो वी कैन हेल्प यू आउट कि फिर भी स्वॉलोइंग में क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि मुंह में ही तकलीफ होता है, इसके वजह से यहाँ पे एक्चुअल थ्रोट में तकलीफ नहीं होता है, तो उसकी वजह से भी हो सकता है. लेकिन ये सारे तकलीफ यूजुअली रेडियोलॉजी में पकड़े जाते हैं, जो एक्सरे टेस्ट होता है वो. तो अगर वो नॉर्मल आया है और फिर भी स्वॉलोइंग नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप अगर रिपोर्ट्स लेके आ सकते हो तो वी कैन हेल्प यू आउट. ओके, लेट्स टेक द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Does chewing, Mrs. Kapoor says, does chewing gum help? नो, चूइंग गम आपको नहीं देना है उनको. रीज़न ये है, चूइंग गम के में प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि अगर उन्होंने गलती से भी वो निगल गया तो वो अटक जाएगा और चोकिंग हो जाएगा, और आप घर के सेटिंग्स में कुछ हेल्प नहीं कर पाओगे पेशेंट को. इसके लिए चूइंग गम नहीं देना है. चूइंग गम अगर आप इसके लिए बोल रहे हो कि उनका चूइंग मूवमेंट होगा तो वो बात आपकी बराबर है, लेकिन उसमें चोकिंग का रिस्क होता है. तो चूइंग गम के जैसे ही वो चूई ट्यूब आता है जो आप बाहर से पकड़ सकते हो, तो वो आप सेफली पेशेंट को दे सकते हो. ओके, दिस इज मिस्टर जमान फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. ओके, सो stem cell therapy for muscular dystrophy options. I do not know of the options that are available in Pakistan. I don't think I'm the right person to answer this question, but I'm sure that if you contact in Asha Ek Hope, they may be able to help you further. Okay. This is Mr. Shah. I have been diagnosed with MND. My voice has started slurring a bit. Please advise. Okay, so that's really good that you're attending this talk. Thank you so much. And it's really good that you've identified your problem in such an early stage. So if your voice has started just slurring right now, it is best that you start all the exercises. Please do come for a consult so that we can tell you, after having you assessed, we can tell you what the exercises are, so that you can start the exercises right now itself, so that your tongue and other oral structures don't worsen. If you do continuous exercises, we have seen, there have been a lot of papers also on this, that the progression does go slower if you are doing exercises. Also for voice, we have there are options like conserving your voice. So this may sound very early for you, but this, I just want to tell you this option because you've reached out at such an early stage. So we all know that the patients with ALS have the risk of losing their voice. So there is an option that technology has developed, something called as voice cloning. So what we do is we store your voice, we store samples of your voice, and then after that there are non-direct communication methods. That is, you can either type and talk, or there are other such methods, or you can use an eye gaze system and talk. But at that time it will be your voice that will be used, so that your family and you also feel like it is you yourself. But that is the absolute last resort. Of course, if you have a very healthy voice, there are lots of things that you can do at this stage itself to not progress. That is about your voice. Now these same exercises will help you to maintain your swallow as well, because like I said, it's the same muscles, the same tongue, the same lips, the same oral muscles. So also your swallowing will get protected. So it is best if you come and get these exercises for yourself, so that the progression is delayed. Okay. All right, let's take the next question. So this is Mrs. Amrita asking, can mild autism clear with stem cell therapy? Okay, again, I would really request if you can restrict the questions to ALS, because the talk is about ALS. For your question, you can definitely contact Neurogen and talk to them about the further autism, get the further autism details, so that your questions all your questions are answered. All right, let's take the next one. This is Mr. Avinash. Eats very less. After one roti, he is not able to swallow. Yes, so okay. So this is called as muscle fatigue, which is usually seen in ALS. So if I have to tell you in simple language, then it is basically that the muscles are getting really, really tired after doing a very small work. So because of that, the total quantity of the meal is reduced dramatically. So if that is happening, then you need the muscles need to be strengthened. That is, you need muscle strengthening exercises. So I would really request if you can come and get a consult, then we can give you the required muscle strengthening exercises. So strengthening can be done in various ways. There are vibrators that are available. There are electrical stimulation that can be done. There are simply exercises without any of these that are available, which you can do. So there are different aspects that are available, which after having the patient assessed, we can provide you those aspects. Okay, this is Mr. Shah saying voice banking. Yes, so that is exactly what I was talking about. So there are steps to voice cloning, and the first step is voice banking. That is, you simply store your voice, and after having stored it, if you feel like you need to feed it into any system like a Samsung Bixby or any other system which will talk for you, then this stored voice can be used at that time. So yes, that is voice banking and voice cloning. So that is an option that is available for you, but again, that's a faraway option. I think if you have just little bit of slurring as of now, exercises will do a great job for you, and it will push the progression for the longest time, hopefully. So please start with the exercises so that you do not face too many problems ahead. Okay, so I think that is all. Are there any more questions? I would love to answer. All right, so I don't think there are any more questions. So it was great sharing this information with you. I hope it made some help in your life. And if there is anything else that you need, you can please contact us at Asha Ek Hope. My name is Nikita Kirane. I'll repeat, I'm a speech and swallowing therapist. If you feel like, you can also message on Facebook or contact Asha Ek Hope, so that if you have any problems, we will try and solve your problems to the best. Thank you.